Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the podcast that even distance can't destroy. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Koblentz in the studio. Not alongside, but along with...
Art Shirley.
Yeah, who is calling in remotely. And we just need to get like a tin can line to your location unknown so that we could do like the old-fashioned where you got the 2 tin cans, the taunt string. Did you ever do that as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It worked.
Yeah, we even had, I had a Batman communicate. It was like it's weird because it was 2 handsets. But it's long before you had cell phones, but they looked a whole lot like what the first, cell phones were that came out. But they had a line between them, and really it was just a tin can concept. There was not an electronic signal going across. It was just you stretched them out as far as you could and talked back and forth. And maybe it wasn't Batman, but it was. I may be confusing several toys in one, but yeah, I remember having that.
So I remember. I think I've told this story on the podcast before. I was in 6th grade, and we had somebody come from NASA to do a demonstration to the whole school. That during a program that day, then they had an event at night for everybody to come to. And a couple things that the guy demonstrated. He had a tile from the space shuttle. And wow. I remember this vividly because I was involved. He had a tile from the space shuttle. He heated it up with a butane torch where it glowed, and then he asked me to touch it, and it was like room cool to the touch after he'd heated it up with the butane torch. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Then the other thing is he pulled out of his pocket this balsa wood carved sort of almost like a flip phone prototype. And this was 1980, 81. This was before cell phones. And he talked about in the future everybody will have their own phone and it will bounce off satellites. And you'll have all these low-level satellites around the world catching these phone calls, and you'll have your own phone. We're like, ooh, that's cool. Star Trek communicator. Mm-hmm. And the thing that has been interesting to me as the cell phone world has developed, instead of the companies dropping in billions of dollars up front to send up satellites, they've built out cell networks, first connected by copper, then connected by fiber optics. And so that low-level atmosphere, cell interaction not happening via satellites, but through cell towers. So, yeah, long way from tin cans. So, but that's amazing that you saw that early. That's cool. That was really, really fun. So, but anyway, all right. I've got a couple questions. I got a geek or two. This is kind of an impromptu based upon travel schedule. You saw Superman. I'm going to try to go see it this week, and we'll review it with Jay. But
okay, so you have not seen it. We thought maybe you'd seen it already.
No, I haven't seen anything except things we'll talk about the second half of the show. But you like Superman overall?
Oh, yeah. We came out of it with, and I was talking to Becky about it last night, and we really enjoyed it, enjoyed the hopeful feeling that it gave us. And I won't say a whole lot of spoiler things on this, but I think most of the stuff is on the internet now. But, we just really, really enjoyed it. I think, I can't remember if I told you this or no, Jay and I were talking about it yesterday, and it was not, to me, still the perfect superhero movie is Superman from '78 with Christopher Reeve in it, and it was not that to me.
Yeah.
But it was certainly a return to hopeful, Superman and things. There were several things in there that I went, I don't much care for that, but overall I liked it a whole lot. Yeah.
Did you believe that a man can fly?
I believe that in 1978, but. Yeah, so I'm still surprised I don't look out to see it. But no, I thought the effects all were good. I thought the casting was really good. I do think, and people have mentioned this, that Superman is just part of larger, overall group of characters that are in this picture. But I don't know that that's a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah.
I think that it was a fresh approach to Superman that I really liked.
Well, I'm going to try to go see it tomorrow night, hopefully. So I've stayed spoiler free. I've avoided everything like the plague. Of course, I've been working or traveling since it came out. So I'm looking forward to it, but much more hopeful than Zack Snyder's Superman is what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like I said, you look back and you see, okay, there's some in Snyder's stuff that, that worked really well. There's some stuff that I just, have a problem with. But I think that, and as people keep pointing out in debates online, that, there are so many different iterations of Superman. But I do think this one was more the big blue Boy Scout that this is the Superman that I like.
Yeah.
It felt very much like a Silver Age, early Bronze Age comic book.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Speaking of Zack Snyder, Netflix has just released a co-op campaign action game, because you can get games off Netflix, called Bloodline, and it is set in Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon universe. So I believe you watched both Rebel Moons, Part 1 and Part 2, correct?
Yeah, I did. Really kind of had hopes that it might be, kind of a nice thing, especially since it was his own property and there wasn't any, kind of attachment to it. And there were things I liked about it quite a bit, but overall I felt like, and this is kind of Snyder's style, way too many slow-mos. It was probably a decent, under 2 hour movie that was stretched out to 2 over 2 hour movies. So definitely could have been edited down. The pacing of it got a little long. And the whole thing got a little muddy, especially in the second one. Yeah.
I scanned through the first one and just kind of forgot about the second one. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you watching Foundation?
No, I'm not. I do have Apple TV again. That's something that I said I would do once I got that back and start watching, is kind of pick back up on that. I don't think I got more than a few episodes into the first season, so I may just start it over from scratch.
Yeah, I do that.
And also Strange New Worlds dropped today, so there's 2 episodes of that out.
Okay, so that I couldn't remember.
That may or may not be part of the reason I took off today, by the way.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to out you on that. So
yeah.
I would highly recommend you watch Murderbot. So
yeah, you said that too. That's another reason I thought, well, I've got it. I need to be watching this stuff.
It is funny. It's a little irreverent, and I just think it's great. So, and I love Dr. Garathian. So, and you'll get into it once you see. Dr. Garathian was the guy who plays it. Cannot remember his name, but he's been over a lot of stuff. He was the Russian mob friend of Ant-Man. In his crew, in his breaking crew, he was the actor played the Russian dude, and he is great in Murderbot. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend that. So, and Emmys were announced, and we probably need to do an Emmy show since there's so much genre on. But I mean, Severance
just wiped. Yeah, cleaned up. 20-something nominations.
Yeah, it's an
incredible amount of nominations. Yeah. But there's more than just Severance. There's, like you said, there's several that fit within the stuff we would be watching anyway.
Yeah, and
regardless of award.
Yeah, Andor had a lot. Forrest Whitaker got guest actor. I
think Last of Us, Pedro is nominated for that.
Vote for Pedro.
That's right.
Did you see? Did you see the meme about why Galactus came to Earth to destroy? Because he's sick of seeing Pedro Pascal and everything.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. Galactus came to destroy the Earth because he's sick of seeing Pedro Pascal. Did you see the last? Have you seen the last teaser trailer for Fantastic Four with the big reveal about what Galactus wants? From
the son, the baby.
Yeah.
No, that's the meme I've seen. I haven't seen the trailer. I need to go back and watch the trailer. So it's like, well, how did he know about your son? And he goes, well, just talking about it, telling him how he has an all-powerful son that can beat Galactus. And so, anyway.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they dropped that in a mainstream trailer. So, That looks really, really good. I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
And
and that comes out the 24th, so it comes out a week from tomorrow.
Good grief, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. I've got to go. I was in a place we'll talk about soon. I've got to go to Maryland next week for a project. I was in Indiana this time last week, so I don't know who I am or where I'm going. So anyway, all right, we're going to kick it to the break. We're going to talk a little music and a project I've been working on, what little I can talk about it, up next. The Art and Rob show continues. We're jailous again. And so one of the things I've been traveling tremendously over the past few months, but probably the most cool project I've worked on, I just got back from Muscle Shoals. And I can't really talk about what I shot there, but I got to spend 2 days at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And it's the legendary studio that Rick Hall started back in the late 50s. And it was the genesis of the Muscle Shoals sound. And so, Art, did you see the Muscle Shoals documentary a few years back?
Yeah, I did. I've actually watched it a couple of times back when I haven't seen it anytime lately, but I watched it. I thought it was just a fascinating thing. And I just really, even though Muscle Shoals is really close to us, relatively speaking, it's in Florence, Alabama, so it's a couple hours away.
No, it's not in Florence. It's in Muscle Shoals. Florence is across Florence is across the river.
Close to Florence. That's right. It actually is. Muscle Shoals is a place. Yeah, that's right. So, but I go through Florence all the time. We would go through Florence on the way to Nashville, and kept saying, "Why don't we just make a day trip up here?"
Oh man,
because. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's right. We go through Florence, but it's actually in Muscle Shoals, which is, like you said, right across the river from it, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. So Florence is north of, and Muscle Shoals is of the river, and Muscle Shoals is south of the river. So I'm looking at
and really, I've heard of Muscle Shoals, the music and stuff from that. Of course, that Muscle Shoals has got the Swampers from the Leonard Skinner song, Sweet Home Alabama. But I didn't really know its history until I saw this documentary. I was just fascinated by it.
Yeah, and same thing. I had heard the Swampers tune and the Swampers line in Sweet Home Alabama, and had known a little bit about the history. But before COVID, my good buddy Joel Hamilton, we did a project up there called Sidemen, and we were, I think we've talked about that a little bit on the podcast before, but the whole idea was we were going to highlight some of these sidemen who've worked on all these songs, and it was kind of a backdoor pilot that nothing ever took off from. And I'd like to revisit it. But we were at a different studio in Muscle Shoals. We were not at Fame. Fame is where it all started, and so that's where I spent the last couple of days. And I was talking to Spencer. I can't remember Spencer's last name. He's the studio manager for Fame. We're eating at, oddly enough, Sweet Pepper's Deli, which is next door to the Fame studio. It's kind of funny. You get Fame where you've had all these late night sessions, the whole kit and caboodle, and to one side of Fame is a CVS and a Dunkin' Donuts, and the other side is a Pizza Hut and a Sweet Pepper's Deli. So it's got everything kind of there. And we talked about the documentary, which came out in 2013, and I said, how did that start? And he said he kind of laughed, and the director, I've got it up here, Greg Carmelier, and a good buddy of his who. His buddy, as I understand, was involved with the Mars Chocolate Empire. They're on the Natchez Trace, and they're driving south, and they start having car problems. And so they pull off into Florence, Alabama, stay at the Marriott, and they're in the lobby of the Marriott, in the restaurant, are all these photos of all these different musicians, famous musicians who've recorded in Muscle Shoals. And there's Fame Studios and there's Muscle Shoals Sound, and they're like, what in the world is this? And so they kind of investigated. They went and talked to Rick Hall, who is the manager, founder, owner of Fame Studios, the guy who started the Muscle Shoals sound movement, I guess. And he's like, yeah, we did this, and this. And these two dudes are like, we'd love to do a documentary. He's like, oh, get out of here. I'm not paying for anything. And they're like, no, we would fund it, just let us do it. And so they created the Muscle Shoals film, which premiered late September of 2013. Magnolia Pictures picked it up for distribution. And in the list of people that they interviewed, you got Rick Allman, Bono, Clarence Carter, Aretha Franklin. I mean, that's the last time she was seen on film. Mick Jagger, Etta James, Alicia Keys, Keith Richards, Percy Sledge, Candy Stanton, Steve Winwood, Wilson Pickett. It just goes on and on and on. And, they're all talking about the secret sauce in Muscle Shoals. And so I'm involved with the project. There's a classic kind of pop doo-wop band from the 50s and 60s that is reforming. And the new lineup cut some of that band's back catalog and then a few other songs. They did a version of Crazy Little Thing Called Love. They did another couple of tunes. And we recorded in Studio A, which is the studio in Muscle Shoals. And
they are still recording in that studio.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what. Not a museum. I mean, it may have, some historical aspects there too, but it is still a working studio.
It's a working studio. Both rooms are working. You got Studio A and Studio B. They've got a gift shop up front. They give tours twice a day at 9 and 4.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I mean, the Sons of Legion were in the studio next door to us yesterday, and apparently they're fairly popular. But you've got St. Paul and the Broken Bones, who recorded there. I bought one of their albums. Greg Allman did his last album there. Just a ton of people. Jason Isbell, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Or Isbell. And the 400 Unit, his Southeastern album was done there. There was just, let me see. In fact, let's see if I can pull up a photo of some of the folks that I took a photo of some of the vinyl that they had for sale there. And I bought the St. Paul album.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard his name in a while.
They had the Aretha Franklin Classics album. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You, which was the song that kind of put her on the map, was recorded in that room.
I know. That's the thing. She kind of, according to the documentary, the Muscle Shoals documentary, her being down there was the turning point, and where she really kind of discovered her sound. And, because she was in that studio, and the backing musicians that they had, the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, or the Swampers.
The Swampers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been a ton of stuff recorded in there, like we've talked about that. But it wasn't just the Fame Studios. But so you walk in, and you feel like you're walking in something from the 70s. The you can look up the room, you can look up the facility, the facade, the whole 9 yards. It's online, and it's very much a dated building.
Oh yeah,
offices.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah, offices upstairs, studios are in the downstairs in the back. You can load in from either side, and you've got a business office up front where Miss Linda Hall worked. She is Rickall's wife. Rickall passed away a few years ago.
Yeah,
and
2018.
Yeah, she was a delight to talk to. And
so she's still there.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you, she had a funny story about Candy Stanton. I cannot say on this podcast. I'll tell you what other time. It's quite fun. And so you've got the gift shop / kind of, they show portions of the Muscle Shoals documentary on a big screen TV. You can buy T-shirts, all kinds of merch. You can buy albums that are recorded there. I'm on my vinyl kick, so I bought the St. Paul and the Broken Bones album that was recorded there. And then you go into this little hallway, And there's a sign there. There's a sign above the door that says, through these doors pass the most talented musicians and producers in the world, or something along that line. And
I've heard that. I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they've got photos of Steven Tyler standing underneath it. I mean, just anybody who's been anybody. And so you go in, you got this little kind of lounge area. It's like a glorified hallway between the two studios and the control room. So we were in control room. We were in Studio A to the left. You walk through double doors, and there you are. And you feel, I mean, there's a vibe in that room, and the room sounds great. You've got vocal booths on the left. And what struck me was the way it was constructed. It is... They've got cork boards on the wall, so they've got cork. Then they've got slatted, 1x4 cedar boards, kind of slatted at an angle to diffuse.
Yeah, to make the sound.
Yeah, you've got this drop grid ceiling with lights in it. It's not like a traditional office ceiling. You go into the vocal booths, and it's burlap on the walls with some sort of cotton behind it. And
really?
Yeah. I mean, and it sounded great. And so you got cables running everywhere. You've got power conduit popping through. And, a modern studio build is going to look sleek, new. This just screams of, I have been here forever and I've seen everything. And then you go up to the control room, huge board. They're doing Pro Tools and Atom again monitors, and it just sounds so incredibly good. And so
the recording studio part of it, that's all state of the art top. New stuff, right?
Well, yeah, they had their 2-inch multi-track tape over in one corner, which I took several video of because I thought was cool. Then they had some 1/4-inch double regular reel-to-reel that are the big studio versions that are high fidelity in the other corner, but they're recorded on a Mac Studio. I actually traced down where the Mac Studio was and opened the door.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, cables everywhere, man.
Oh, man.
It's just... It's a working studio, and they stay.
Do they have lockers of microphones and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. And so when you rent the studio, you get the gear thrown in, and like the guitarist, they had his cabinet in a separate room. Like you had a load-in door off the street by the CVS. You walk through there, and then there's this. You come into that little load-in area. And there's a closet, just like a storage closet, and they had the guitarist, his amplifier there, cranked wide open, mic'd there, and they had the Wurlitzer that Spooner Oldham played, and it's going to another cabinet in another room that's mic'd, and it's old fashioned, all this stuff is analog. There's no sampling going on. There's no. I mean, we had a piano, we had a keyboard, and a Wurlitzer. I mean, a B3, a Wurlitzer, and a piano. And this was a grand piano that was mic'd with blankets thrown over it. And I mean, it's not much different than maybe you would imagine it from 30 years ago, other than what you're recording to. And Art,
I know you can't say anything about the project that you're working on, but we will see some of this stuff when this comes out. We'll let people know when this is out live, right?
This project has the potential to be bigger than One Night in March in my yeah, and so I'm still negotiating with we're still talking about ownership of and my involvement. Am I just a hired gun to shoot, or am I going to come on as a producer, editor on it? So but yeah, man, it just the vibe there was so amazing. And this once that documentary dropped, I mean, there's 8 or 9 professional studios in Muscle Shoals, but you have Fame, then you got Muscle Shoals Sound, and
I was going to mention. Go ahead, mention that.
No, go ahead. I've talked too much.
Well, it's just 69. You had the Swampers left Fame Studios and went and recorded their own, created their own thing called the Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, and they had a lot of folks go through there too. Like I said, I think Fame is where you had just this incredible history behind that, because you had them going from 59 to 69 with the original Muscle Shoals rhythm section, the Swampers. But they continue now to do stuff. So like you said, you've got not only Fame, but you've got some impressive talent going through Muscle Shoals, Alabama, the town.
Yeah.
But Fame is where it all started. And again, that's where, in some cases, legends were definitely born. I mean, you look at the list of people that you got. They talk about in the documentary Dwayne Allman, the brother of Greg Allman, the one who passed away, the guitarist. He would camp out on the lawn or the parking lot of Fame Studios, trying to get something. I mean, he worked as a session musician as well.
Well, they've got this little, when you walk in, you've got this smoking lounge to the left, and I sat out there and made a couple phone calls. I'm like, man, who else has sat here through the years?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, who else? And the whole thing with the Swampers leaving, and talking to some of the guys at Fame. It was an amicable split, I believe.
Yeah. I never got the sense that it was not.
And they were day players, and they wanted to have a little bit more ownership in what they were doing. And actually, Rick Hall had negotiated a deal with Capitol Records to give his players, residuals. And but a lot of stuff was recorded at Muscle Shoals Sound. So I've got a list of the top 20 songs recorded in Muscle Shoals. I'm going to start it, and this is from AL.com, Alabama.com. So 73 at Muscle Shoals Sound Studios. Number 20 is Loves Me Like a Rock by Paul Simon.
Yeah.
That was recorded there. And so the Swampers were on that one. And so that was produced by Phil Ramone, by the way.
Okay.
Fame Studios, Sweet Soul Music by Arthur Conley, which I've heard it, but I couldn't. I would have to hear it.
You heard it again.
Yeah. So Otis Redding was the producer on that. 18, You Better Move On by Arthur Alexander. That was a 61 cut. Rick Hall produced that. That was recorded at Fame. Land of a Thousand Dances, Wilson Pickett, 66, recorded at Fame. Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger, 78, recorded at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio with the Swampers. And, so you've got the rhythm section and Bob Seger producing. I'd Rather Go Blind by Etta James, 68, recorded there at Fame Studios, where I was yesterday, produced by Rick Hall. I don't know this tune at all. I'm Your Puppet by James and Bobby Purify. I don't know that I've ever heard.
I'm Your Puppet. I think it was remade by somebody in the 70s. I can't remember who did that, but I know it probably more from the remake than the original.
Well, I didn't realize that Candy Staton did Fancy originally.
Yeah.
And she recorded
before Reba did it.
Yeah, she recorded it there at Muscle Shoals. So here's your one chance, Fancy, Don't Let Me Down. Yeah. Snatching It Back by Clarence Carter, 69 at Fame.
Clarence Carter.
Yeah. Stroking. Sitting in Limbo by Jimmy Cliff, 71 at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio. Hey Jude by Wilson Pickett,
featuring Dwayne Allman on guitar.
Unbelievable! I got goosebumps.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I was sitting there where that was recorded by Wilson Pickett. I mean, that's
unbelievable. And his version is supposed to be just a great alternate version of that song.
Yeah.
Allman actually taught him the song, is what I'm reading here.
Yeah. So, Do Right Woman, Do Right Man by Aretha Franklin, 67, there at Fame. Respect Yourself by the Staple Sisters. That was over at Muscle Shoals Sound Studios. That was 71. 71 also. I mean, you just got to think about this time period. Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones was recorded.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slip Away, Clarence Carter, 68 at Fame Studios. Number 6, Tell Mama by Etta James. So
yeah, gosh. I mean, just all different genres of music. It's not just Southern rock. It's not just soul or whatever. It's all kinds of things. I mean, you got the Rolling Stones there. You got Etta James there. I mean, it's just crazy.
I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You by Aretha Franklin. Was at Fame in 67. That's number 5 on this list. I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers. Was at
see, I would have thought that was at Stax, but that's in
Muscle Shoals. Yeah, it's Sound Studio. Yeah. Mustang Sally, Fame Studio, 66.
Oh my gosh!
I've got here's my story I can tell about that. So that project we did a few years ago, we had Spooner Oldham and Dave Hood on it, and they were they're in the Swampers. You look at their discography, unbelievable. So these guys are these young white Alabama dudes who are playing music, and they're day players. They get paid at the end of the day. So Spooner tells his story. He's the keyboardist. He comes into Fame to play. Wilson's in recording. They're doing Mustang Sally. There is no keyboard or piano part at all. And
oh, wow.
And so Spooner he plays B3, plays all of it. And he's like, I have got to make rent today. My landlord is breathing down my neck. I have got to get paid to make rent. So he invents that rumble at the front of Mustang Sally and works himself into a part that becomes an integral part of that tune.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So he can get paid for rent. So number 2 at Nora Law Studios, which I'm not familiar with at all, but it's in Muscle Shoals, When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge. And then according to AL.com, the number 1 tune recorded in Muscle Shoals, this was at Sound Studios as well, Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones.
Gosh,
2 hours up to
And I know it's not all in a single studio. We're talking about a single, Muscle Shoals in general, with their, like you said, multiple studios. Most of it seems like Fame and then maybe Muscle Shoals Sound Studio after that.
Yeah.
But wow. I mean,
here's a couple other kind of, just stuff that was recorded in Muscle Shoals. Patches by Clarence Carter.
Yes.
Tighten Up by the Black Keys. Loan Me a Dime by Bots Skaggs. The First Cut is the Deepest by Rod Stewart. Gotta Serve Somebody by Bob Dylan. Main Street by Seeger. What else was on here? Kodachrome by Paul Simon.
Yeah.
And One Bad Apple.
Paul Simon tells the story. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say One Bad Apple by the Osmonds. So, yeah.
I know. I mean, that's the one I saw. Wow, I did not expect that. But yeah.
But what
Paul
was
Simon went down there? Paul Simon went down there, and he's meeting the Swampers, and in the documentary he says, he was looking around and he goes, well, when do I get to meet the band? And they said, well, we're the band, and he said he expected it to be black guys because of the sound and the soulfulness of the playing or whatever. But no, it's just these guys, that were probably just came in off of like you said, they were just day players, so that's who they were. So he talks about how funny that was that he didn't even recognize who the people were when they came in, but nobody knew them. Other than in the studio, they never. The Muscle Shoals documentary was probably the biggest exposure for a lot of people that they would ever get.
Well, it's it is a testament to Rick Hall, and I told Miss Linda yesterday when I was talking to her. They've been married for 58 years. I said to me, all these accolades are amazing, right? All this stuff, but to me, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, the fact that you guys were able to create something with a national presence in a small town in Alabama that is difficult to get to. I mean, difficult to get to.
Yeah, it's not like that's a good point. It's not Birmingham, it's not Memphis, it's not even it's not Nashville. It's close to all three of those places, but it's a difficult place to get to. You have to be going there to get there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's
But yeah, I can see where you would appreciate that as a business owner.
Well, it is a testament to what Rick Hall created, and the fact that he was able to do some amazing things. I'm trying to find Spencer's name, the studio manager, who is so. I've got his card. He's been there for 10 years. Great guy. Enjoyed hanging out with him, and he just. He knows the history. I mean, this is his main gig at this point. I mean, he is on staff at Fame, and he's just done an amazing job there. It's absolutely incredible what has happened there. And I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a day trip, if you're looking for something to pop in and just get a feel for the vibe. Stop by Fame. They've got 2 tours. They do a 9 and a 4. They've got swag there, and they'll take you through the studios. And we were recording at 4:00 both days, and we took a break, and they brought a tour through. And the producer I was working with, he kind of told a little bit about what we were recording, and those folks got just tremendously excited. And it's one of those things that it's a fun day trip. I will tell you, the Microtel is probably not your top place to stay. Nice enough folks, but just going to put that.
Oh.
And I stopped at the Forge to get some coffee yesterday morning. It was pretty good. So that was kind of fun.
Okay, good.
And there's a good pizza place there. There's a lot of stuff there. To me, it's about the size. Muscle Shoals would be about the size if we took Starkville, Columbus, and West Point and kind of rolled them together into one. One metropolitan area. So.
But you mentioned in that day trip thing, that's something that I think Becky and Will and I may have to do. I know Will's been. I know he's been to Muscle Shoals before, so maybe he could also kind of show us around a little bit too.
I tell you what, you should absolutely do it. And we were again talking to yesterday at lunch with my good buddy Brian Stevens, who I haven't mentioned at all. He was one of the producers on this, and he was the drummer on this project. And thankful to him to get me to involve me in it. And I probably need to have Brian on. Once this project becomes public, we need to talk about it. But, at lunch yesterday, we talked about this Americana music triangle that basically goes from Nashville to Memphis to New Orleans. And it covers most of Mississippi. And like all American music has its origins in that triangle: rock, blues, and country. Because you've got...
That's a good point.
Yeah, Jimmy Rogers, father of country music.
Too, talking about New Orleans.
Yeah. You got Elvis with Tupelo. You got all the blues artists, and just how... And Muscle Shoals is in that Americana triangle. And it's crazy, Art, just how this region that we take... I mean, you're in the home of Howlin' Wolf,
I know, and that's what I was about to say. Howlin' Wolf, and I had, no idea the impact that he had on especially like British blues rock folks. You just didn't know him. And, here we are in his hometown, or right outside of his hometown. But, it's amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm looking at you can look at it, AmericanaMusicTriangle.com. It's pretty fascinating. So it's Nashville, and it goes to New Orleans, cuts up to Helena, Arkansas, across Memphis to Nashville. And it encompasses basically all of Mississippi except for the Gulf Coast, like from Hattiesburg down, western Tennessee, and then the Delta parts of Arkansas. And Muscle Shoals is in the middle of it. And, the towns that are highlighted in this are Tunica, Helena, Memphis, Clarksdale, Cleveland, Leland, Greenwood, Indianola, Oxford, Tupelo, West Point, and then Meridian, Jackson, and Natchez. So,
isn't that something? I mean, that's really something.
Blues, jazz, country, rock and roll, R&B, soul, gospel, bluegrass, Cajun, Zydeco, Southern gospel, all from that triangle. So, man, that needs to be my next. That needs to be my next documentary. That would just be pretty,
that sounds cool.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And they've got all these driving trails Tupelo to Nashville takes you through. I mean, Tupelo, New Orleans takes you through Jackson, Natchez, St. Francisville, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. So that's what we should do, the three of us.
I'm telling you. I'm just thinking, I may need to find a way to make myself more available to help with that.
Yeah. Well, so we should do a music and food tour is what we should do. I mean,
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all.
Think about that. How we could. There's a lot of stuff that we could hit. So anyway, that's not here nor there nor yonder. So, but yeah, that was my adventure over the past couple of days, and it's
cool.
It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about it as we get closer. So.
All right, good deal.
All right, well, that'll wrap us this time around. We'll see you guys down the line.